Is it time? Is it time? Is it time? 8, 9, 3:30. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to this brand new and improved home edition of Poetic License on May 3rd. I hope everybody is staying safe and happy at home. I want to first apologize for the live Facebook feed that shows everything backwards because it might take them a while to realize that it says poet on my hat because everything is backwards on this camera. But I wanted to at least justify by saying I am recording this also with the camera so that eventually it will get uploaded in the correct direction. I hope everyone is doing well. There have been a lot of books that have just been released from Scars Publications that I'd like to read from in different segments for you guys. I usually start by talking a bit when I'm hosting this open mic when I start at 3:30 from 3:30 to 5:30 Central Standard Time here in Austin. And for any of my Chicago friends who might be tuning in going, why is she in a tank top? It's near 90 here in Austin, you people. So yeah, you're in your side, you're in the library space, but still it's warm, you can't help it. So I wanted to be able to talk. We're just all stuck at home right now. So for those of you who don't know me, I always liked watching Star Trek, The Next Generation particularly. And I didn't even watch it when it originally came out. So it's just like in rerun mode and I'm watching it like mad. And I heard Sir Patrick Stewart saying that they were asking him if he would be willing to do a new series, a new season of something called Star Trek Picard. And he's much older, and maybe every once in a while they would have new people, you know, people from the old episodes coming in, like Riker and Troy together and married, or I don't know, or Data. He'd dream about Data because he died in the most recent movie, Nemesis, I think. But he's like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. And so Data was still in it in this whole thing. It was talking all about Romulans and Siths and synths. There was a whole new civilization, even though they'd been outlawed. And I'm telling you all this because I would normally not pay, but we're at home, so we'd paid and we saw this first season of Star Trek Picard, and I saw the Romulan auntie, one of the people that were the Jodfash said to kill these synths that are out there. When she was there, she had on this really light beige matte nail polish. And I thought, oh my God, I love that. And I was making a Nutcracker design for Chief Alinowick, and I'm like, this is a perfect color, and I could look like a Romulan woman by having this nail polish on. And also at the same time, one of the synths, who is actually the evil synth, whose name was Sutra, she had the coolest ring on. I so fell in love with it. It was like a set of like a triangles or elongated rectangle, and they were woven around each other. And John was bored with some metal, and he just put these things together. I'm going to show it off for both cameras. It's just this goofy looking thing, really. It's silly, but I'm like, I'm so in love with this thing, even though it's this junk piece of metal. And so I'm representing the Synths and the Romulans from this new series as I'm dressed for you guys. Anyway, this is what happens when you're stuck at home. You do a lot of watching TV, I guess. So anyway, I think it'd probably be better if I was reading instead of watching TV. So I'd like to start by reading a number of poems from the brand new May 2020 issue of Down in the Dirt magazine, which was released as an Amazon 6x9 ISBN perfect bound bleed book called Seasons. I once again apologize to my Facebook readers who get to see everything in reverse, but this was a shot that was taken in Austin, somewhere along a river. Oh wait, I might say where it is in here. And I just thought it was really cool. It was a fire hydrant at the Bull Creek Greenbelt. This is when we're just driving around. I'm like, there is a river and there's a fire hydrant and there's a manhole. I love it, but I thought it was a cool thing. I think my husband took pictures of it as well, but I thought it seemed appropriate for something with the title like The Seasons. The magazine issues get their titles based on the writing that's accepted inside of them. I see one, I say, that's a cool title for a book. And that becomes the title, and that's why this one is called Seasons, brand new issue from Down in the Dirt magazine. If you'd like to know more about it, you can go to scars.tv/dirt and get the scoop about past issues and how to submit writing. And I will start by reading a number of poems from it, and there goes a book for you. This is how many books I've got in my library. Books are falling off the shelves. This first poem is called Magnesium Burn. It's a short poem. Oftentimes if I get a submission of prose and it takes up just a little bit more than half page, it might not be enough room for a full poem, but or for a full piece of artwork, but if I've got a short poem that could fit into that space, I'll put it in there. I put this one in there because I've written poems for every element in the periodic table. Somebody just bought a book and they were saying it was a really fascinating read, getting the periodic table of poetry. But Avram, a friend of mine in Chicago, said that there was a contest from Chemistry and Engineering News, a journal online, you know, a science journal, looking for poems, Twitter length, about the elements. And so I just started doing them like mad, and without knowing it, one of them got 3rd place, which I thought was the funniest thing. So I had to share it in here. It had an Instagram image with a matchbook in it for you. If you'd like to see it, you can see it online, or you could look at any of my stuff on JanetKuypers.com with links to it. But this poem is called Magnesium Burn. When your fire starts, you're impossible to stop. Burning brighter white, brilliant white, even underwater. Seeing your fireworks, snapping my flashbulb photos, I feel that your intensity is there and also a part of me. You make my heart beat. Short but sweet. I see more and more people getting on with the live feed, and hi, I wave to you, and I hope everybody's enjoying this time to get their poetic license, because as a space, there is an online Facebook page that if anybody wants to put any posts of writing or audio files or video files or anything that is poetically inclined, now is the time to do it on the, I think it's called Poetic License 5/3/20 Home Edition events page. I'd love to have your input there, and I love you listening. So I'm going to read a couple of other short ones here. This is a short one. As I said, there are ones for fillers for long pieces. This one is called Unsung. From enemy lines, with crises worldwide, you strive, unsung, risk to aid. I didn't realize how perfectly appropriate that is for what we're going through right now, for all of the people that are coming out and helping people and risking themselves even though the coronavirus might be around, just to be able to give people aid. So that is for them as well, and it happens to be in this current issue of Down in the Dirt, which is called Seasons. This next one, another short one, it was a thing after about a fainting spell from somebody that was writing, and I've got some cool hospital photos in the book as well. But there's this tiny little haiku afterward called Guard. I treasure it now, with danger everywhere. Guard personal safety. When you hear the stories and you find something that is appropriate in a short thing, because in the flash of something can go wrong and you have to suddenly guard your personal safety, and everyone's now trapped in their homes, and I hope everyone is being safe, speaking of. But now I thought I'd share with you from this book, Seasons, from Down in the Dirt, a few poems that relate to May events, I believe. And you know, sitting over here, Tom Woodruff, I'm so used to seeing Tom, and he would always come with like a gazillion little sets of reading glasses, and they'd be all different colors, and I'd put them on, and I'd be like, how do I look? How do I look? And I would always do that with him, and I thought I would do this in homage to him. These are my husband's, and the reason why they're down here is because I cannot see that well through them, so I want to be able to see you guys too. But there's this poem in here that I was going to share with you that was written on May 6th during National Anxiety and Depression Awareness Week. And it is called Overtake Me. I can tell no one understands what I go through. No one has lived the life I have. Yes, we have lived this life, and there are good times, but the traumas, sometimes the traumas overtake me, and I can tell no one. And yes, a few times I have gotten to a therapist. I have cried when I thought I was all finally over all the things that have tortured me. But if I'm over them, why do I struggle still? And why do I feel so alone, even in a crowded room? And no one wants to hear about a person's suffering. They think that life can't be all that bad, and they're convinced that I'm choosing to ignore the good things in life. But when demons haunt you, it's hard to look chipper and think that things are okay. It's hard to smile when you walk in the sun and you think that this could be the day a car careens into you to put you into a hospital again, where you try to piece your life back together. But since this all started, my life has never been together, and this I can tell no one. Even after seeing a doctor who suggested I could take antidepressant medication, I thought of the vegetables I've seen who live on those drugs, and I thought, no, I'd rather feel something, even if it's depression, versus feeling a muted nothingness instead. So, these are the choices I make, and these are the battles I take, and about this, I can tell no one. Yes, these walls feels like they're closing in all around me, but oddly enough, these walls are the closest thing to me. And since I've got no one, I'm not sure I want to let them go. You don't know how weird it is to write things for different themes, because in 2019 I wrote a poem a day every day, and it would change from one idea, one theme to the next, and it's like, all right, here we go. And so when you read them off, they're so incredibly different, because I think just a couple days after that was Victory Day after midnight, because it was written on May 9th, which is Victory Day, the day after World War II is finally considered, and they figured it out after midnight, and people actually was like, this is Victory Day, yahoo, you know. So this poem is called Victory Day after midnight. After years of this toxic relationship with you, and you making me believe you were my savior, I wanted to think it could work out between us, but what seemed so good at first was only an illusion. I should have known to not trust you. We all should have known it. But as time wore on, those who would argue against you would somehow be silenced. Quietly, quickly, coldly, violently, and brutally. You said you wanted peace, but you only offered death, destruction, and domination. You never said the words, at least not that I heard. But your sanctioned mass genocide after your was actually your final solution? Was this supposed to be how you would make things work out for us? You pulled the wool over my eyes, as I think you did for everyone else. I had to be free of you to feel an ounce of my own freedom. And the more others saw your claims of wanting peace and prosperity as only a megalomaniacal rantings of a madman trying to blindside the world into submission, the more I realized that I didn't have to fight alone. And if that means we had to take you down the way you tried to take me down, or even try to take the world down, then so be it. Since you don't fight fair, we'll pull out from some tricks out of our own sleeves. Well, we'll pull some tricks out of our own sleeves to make sure that your wrath remains nothing more than your idle imagination. And maybe only later will we realize how essential it was to put you down, like the animals you assumed other beings to be. But for now, now that it's after midnight, let us celebrate. Let us celebrate that you cannot hurt anyone else anymore. And maybe, just maybe, the world may be a better place for it. So, now that I'm over how evil you once were, just let me celebrate. I make it sound like a personal relationship, and it's countries. It's so incredibly funny. Hi. I also wanted to say, I don't know if you can see it. I've got to see if it's actually there. Yeah, you can see it with the black frame, and it's cut off there. I figured if everybody is stuck in their homes, even though it's a really, tiny, small images for things online, I thought if I could find some photos of artwork that you would find in galleries. Anything from Picasso, Manet, Monet, to Edward Munch. I'm trying to think of some of the artists that are there, things that you would find in, and they're just going to be rotating. I figured I might as well bring some art into our lives, even if poetry is not enough art for you guys. I figured I better get that one out of the way for you. I also want to say hello again to everybody who is watching online. I've got a couple of poems I would like to share with you. I've got 4 more before I take a break and then find another book to be able to share for you guys. This one, it was written on May 10th, and it was written on this written about the censorship on the anniversary of the day Nazis in Germany staged massive public book burnings of un-German books. Yeah, I have a couple in a row. I don't think I have any more. They're about, nope, no more about World War II, I swear. But this one's about that event, so sorry, get ready for it. You're getting your history lesson at the same time. This one called Volumes and Flames While the Spirit Lives. You claim to be well-intentioned when your only desire is to destroy our spirit. You call it decency, morality, but we call it a lack of morality if you choose to squelch every idea other than your own. You may want to consign to flames hundreds of thousands of books, but there is only so much burning you could do and you can get done in one night, no matter how many peons you get into a fervor to help you. I don't care what you think, but you cannot burn our spirit. We will remember these books. We will remember this act, and we will remember what you have done to us. You're trying to take away our freedoms, which means you're trying to rob our minds. And these are still there are still amongst us those who cherish reading these books, who will revel in creating these books. This robbery, thievery that you cloak under what you call good intentions, you think we'll forget, but this is what I want you to remember. Your childish acts of destruction is only temporary. Remember this, because I don't care how many fires you set or how many books you burn, you will never destroy our spirit. Remember this. Yeah, I'm trying to make them sound on the happier side of fighting back from World War II. There's a short one here that is very tiny and hard to read, but if you see things on Instagram, they came with Instagram images, and I try to include them in books when they're being published. This was written on and for National Tulip Day, and there's this little picture of tulips in the background. This is a poem called Vase of Tulips. Just months after I met my one true love, that's when he realized I was a Dutch girl. So he bought me a bouquet of tulips in a vase adorned with cut-out tulips around it. I don't know how close his gift was to the day the Dutch celebrate the beautiful tulip, but I will keep the vase with all the memories of him tied in with beauty and my ancestry. I do still have that vase upstairs in the bedroom. And I bought some silk tulips to put in there so I can have that always. It's so cheesy. I could be cheesy sometimes, can't I? Aren't I allowed? I've got two more for you, and they are politically driven and emotionally driven. This one was written on May 25th for Memorial Day, and it is called Killing Women for Healing. Searched the Vietnam Memorial Wall, saw all the brave men who had died. So then we start searching for women, found captains, colonels, lieutenants. But it seems that every single woman in this war who was killed was a nurse. People go off to war to kill each other, and it was the job of every single woman who died in that war to only heal people. To heal people. It was everyone's job in that war to kill each other, and it was the job of these women to heal them. Intriguing dichotomy, isn't it? How even in war you need a reminder of being well. And for this, these women were killed. Many can talk of the injustices of war, but it's only poignantly appropriate when women are killed, only for trying to heal. That one also had an Instagram image. It'll be hard to see. I can show it to this camera first so you can see it. There is a picture of, that's actually the traveling memorial wall. There it is for you. It's hard to see, but if you look in Instagram for the poem Killing Women for Healing under my writing, there's a picture there, and we went to visit the traveling wall, and my husband found his cousin's name in the wall. That blew my mind. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a different topic for the last poem before I take a break and go to another live feed for another live book reading for you guys. This poem is called Unity for Humanity, and it was written on and for the Declaration of the Bob, B-A with a slash, don't slash over it. Day. It's a Hindi. Anyway, this is called Unity for Humanity. Sociologists call religion a cultural universal. And religions usually start with a leader, a messenger, spreading the word about an enlightened state of being. Now, this year, I performed shows for years, I performed shows monthly at the Baha'i Faith Center. And only after the shows ended do I stumble on the founding of religions and the celebration of the man who was the precursor to the Baha'i faith. Because one man who called himself the Bab, B-A with an upward slash, the Bab, his title meaning the gate, he led to the religious belief of the unity of humanity. Because his teachings of Babism were seen as a threat. Because of this, they were a threat to the Islamic clergy. Followers were brutally persecuted in Persia. So, considering what Ali Muhammad Shirazi did, and all that he had meant to be connectedness and the understanding of Baha'i, they decided to declare the Bab Day as one of the 9 holy days. At this point, you may hide behind religious prejudice and think that we don't need to hear about another quote-unquote religion. But the Baha'i believe in social teachings that stress the equality of all humans, regardless of gender, race, and class. And if the underlying premise is to stress unity for all of the world, then being religious or not, you have to hear these words and nod your head and approve. Seemed an appropriate ending for the book Seasons, the brand new May 2020 book from Down in the Dirt magazine, which is out every month. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing this. I am going to do multiple readings instead of having one 2-hour-long reading. I hope that other people are also posting things up on the Facebook event page for Poetic License 5/3/20 Home Edition. And Stay poetically inclined. Thanks for listening and stay safe, everyone. Thank you.